you can go there and you can see the tickets that are available, and you can star them. This is how we got Perl there. People just went on, it was on ProBuzz and a few other places, and people just went there and started. I was one. And he got starred often, and so much, it became the most starred issue, and I think like 2 weeks later, we had Perl on it, which was really cool. 1 week later, it's excellent. So packaging is not yet available, but is one of the hot topics, and I do assume they will be available soon. Anyone else? I saw another hand, I can swear. No one? All right, fine, suit yourself. Okay, so where do we start with, I'm sorry? Do you have, no, okay. Maybe I'm mentioning things. Where do we start when we want to try and write an application for it? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download and install the SDK, which is the developer tools that we have for Android. That carries a few applications, quite a lot, and some of them are the emulator that let us run an Android environment using an emulation of ARM, which is the processor most mobile devices use and the one Android is built for. And then we're going to create a virtual device, which is a fake Android, a fake mobile device for Android to run on, and it's going to run with Android on it. It's going to install it together. Then we're going to install SL4A inside of that virtual device, giving us the layer on top that we can work with. And we're going to have to add the Perl interpreter, since it is not part of it by core. It's just different packages you have to install within the SL4A. The reason is that there are a lot of different interpreters, and I don't want it coming with like 7 different ones, which would take much more to download and install. So that's that. And then we write our script, okay? That's kind of a given. And then upload it to the virtual device, the same way you would just copy it to your mobile device. And then we're going to first run the script. So I'm going to show, I want to showcase this. Unfortunately, the internet kind of sucks. Maybe it's just for me, but I can't really do it well. So this is the Android.com page, you can see. And there's, I think there's a YouTube thingy here, but you can't really see it, I'm sorry. Introducing Android. And down here you have the partners, developers, and the Android market. The Android market is where you have the applications. I guess it's a web front end for it, so you can view applications. What we're going to do is go to the developers. And once we click on that, we have this page, which is the developers. I preloaded this because of the internet problems. And here you can see the different stuff that you can do. You have the SDK, the developer guide, reference, resources, videos, blog, a lot of different stuff. And basically we just want to go to download over here. And once we reach that, I also preloaded this page. And you can see the different download links you have for the different platforms, Windows, Mac OS, and Unix. I download this because I run Linux, and it's basically a TarGZ that carries these things. You can just open it wherever you want. You can put the tools folder in the path. Sorry. As such, you can just put these this path and work with it, or you can just work with it locally, which is what I'm going to do now. This is very comfortable. Okay, so you can see the different tools that it has. I'm not going to go over all of them because they're not really important, and I don't really know them, to be honest. I have no idea what they are. But I do know this one. This is ADB, which is the Android Debug Bridge. This is the application we're going to use in order to work with the device, such as copying files to it, or pulling stuff from it, or just opening a shell to the virtual device, which is something we can do, and then just roam around in that virtual device that we have, which is really nifty. Now we're going to use this application, which is the Virtual Device Manager, okay? And that's the device we use to run the emulator and the entire environment and work with it. That's pretty cool. So we're going to start with that. Just go into Tools and run it as such. This is how it looks. I hope it's possible to see here. I have two virtual devices. I have two virtual devices here. One is example. I'm gonna delete that so we can start our own. And I already have one that I prepared in advance called the AppC demo. On the left, you can see the virtual devices list, the installed packages list, the available packages list, settings, about. In the available packages, this is the first place you're going to go to because you need a package to download and install. And the packages are basically the different SDKs and APIs that you can run your virtual device with. So you're going to need to download at least one of them. And you can see there are quite a few. There is 2.1, 1.6, 1.5. There is the documentation, samples, different stuff. If I go to install packages, you can already see that I downloaded the latest one, which is Android 2.2 API 8 revision 2. And in the virtual devices, once you've already installed the package, you can just create a new virtual device and select that. So you go to New, pick a name for that. We're going to go with example. We can pick the target. The targets are basically a list of the packages you've downloaded. I only downloaded one, so that's the only one I can pick. I can pick a size for the SD card, and the SD card is where your scripts are going to be. So you might want to give it at least 50 megabytes on your virtual device. And most devices these days have an SD card like 4 gigabytes, I guess. So that's not much of a problem. So I'm going to pick 50. Different stuff that you can do. I haven't really played with it. I don't know how much it matters. You know, like the abstracted LCD density and stuff like that. Once you hit create, it's really, really fast. It created a virtual device. We can see it over here, and we can start it. Unfortunately, it is something that takes quite a while. Once you hit start, you have to select, you can select the display. 3 is the default. It's pretty small, so I'm going to pick 7, which is the most I can get without it going way too much off screen. And you can wipe the user data. I've never tried that, to be honest. Once you click launch, it actually runs Camu in the background. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know. So it actually runs Camu in the background. And that emulates the ARM processor, which is what's needed. That's the major overhauling. Now, on the right, you can see the different buttons that you would have on a mobile device, such as the camera, the decrease and increase of volume, shutdown, reject and accept, different navigation keys, home, menu, back, search, and an entire keyboard that you can use. But you don't have to use it, since the keyboard you're using on your regular computer is carried away into the interface. So you don't have to use it, which is really good. On the left, you can see the display of Android. This is how Android looks. This is already the second time I'm running this. The first time you run it, it will look a bit differently because it will already go into the application interface. So I'm going to unlock it. And pretty much everything you do with the clicks is kind of like tapping with your fingers. So if I hold the click down for a long time, this is what happens when I do the same thing with my finger, my index finger on the screen on my phone. Escape goes back, kind of like this, pretty much. The desktop is a 3-sided desktop, so you have one to the left. I just hit the click and move around, or don't move around. Click and move around so I can go to the right again. This is a small music player. There. This is, I guess, a paperclip-esque helper, and I hope people don't find it too annoying. I don't really use it. This is a small integrated Google search. And down here you can find a quick menu, which is to select the contact, to dial to the major menu, and a browser. So the first thing you're going to do is open the menu here and go to settings. And at least this is something I would do. I would scroll down here. The mouse scroller on my desktop is integrated here. Language and keyboard. and then remove Japanese because I don't know Japanese. And it really bugs me. It tries to write Japanese, and I can't even write Japanese, so I can't even read it. Go back, and there you go. Now, you can go to Google and just search for SL4A or Android scripting. Both will work. And once you hit that, AAC will work as well, by the way. Once you hit that, it goes to, well, it will hopefully go to the results page. In the first result, we have Android scripting, which is a project hosting a Google Code scripting layer for Android. There we go. We can click on that. That will get us to the main page. And here on the main page, we see it in its entirety. We can just, I think double-click has zoom. This is the way the browser really looks like in Android. It's really nice. So now we're going to have to install this. In the feature download, we can see the file here. You can see that it's ASE R25. It's release 25 of ASE. Since the rebranding of ASE to SL4A, there wasn't any release yet because I've done a lot of changes and they haven't really wrapped it up nicely yet. But it should be available soon. Meanwhile, you can download ASE and work with that. That's perfectly fine. And zoom in again, and this is the APK file, or an image you can just screenshot and read it. It's a barcode type. Once it starts to download, you can see it up here in the notifications area. And it's going to download it, and I think it's going to take a while to download that. Fortunately, I've already had it downloaded and installed. Just that it's a bit unresponsive. Apparently. This was something I did not plan for. Okay. So I'm going to use escape a lot to exit out of the browser. Now once, I think it's still, is it still downloading? Okay, it finished. You can click on that and it's going to show you the different things that it wants to use. I already have it installed, so it's going to ask to replace the application. I'm going to say, I'm not going to say okay because I already have stuff installed on it. And then it shows you the different things that the application is using and asks you if it's okay to install it, like networking or accessing your data on your phone, stuff like that. All Android applications have that, so be prepared. Now in the menu we can see here, under ASE, again, it hasn't been rebranded yet. And once you open this, this is the ASE interface. First thing you would see are the scripts you have installed. Now, these are either scripts that you uploaded or scripts that were downloaded with the interpreter that you're using. Now, I already have the Perl interpreter installed, so I can see two scripts that came along with it, which is Hello World PL and Test PL. If I would have installed the Python application, I'll probably see another, at least a few more scripts. If you go to the menu, this is the menu context, and you can see here different options. Refresh basically refreshes the folder of the scripts if you've just uploaded a new script and you want to refresh the view. Help, preferences, add, and view. So I go into view, and you can see the different stuff. The first one is interpreters, which shows you different interpreters you have installed and allows you to install new interpreters and to remove them if you want to. Basically, it comes with shell to begin with. I can click on that, it would run the shell interpreter in the screen. You can see on top, ASE is running this as a service on the phone, and you can stop it. The user can stop it by tapping on it. And you can see the port. It's actually listing on the RPC server. This is the shell, and I can pretty much do anything I want here. Pretty cool. And escape to exit. And you can go to menu to install new ones. Under menu and then add an interpreter.